It's interesting. There's a difference often between facts and narrative. And as the former chief of information security protecting the classified information resources of Pennsylvania National Guard, it strikes me that there's significant amount of narrative and going on when we know, as you know, working with the Pennsylvania National Guard about the penetration tests, those have not stopped. Same goes for the things that are going into the active countermeasures end of this thing. Trust me, if that stuff is being shut down, I'd have heard about it by now from my former colleagues. What is being examined are administrative and policy decisions at CISA, and those are the types of things that are being examined, and there are pauses put to. I want to go back to finish something that Senator Coleman was on the election code debt service. Over the life of the bond, Deputy Marks, do you know what the total interest costs will be paid on that?
I don't. I will actually have to defer to our to Kim.
All right.
Total interest to be repaid is just a touch over 17 million.
Okay, thank you. And what year will that be paid off?
It will be paid off in fiscal year 29-30.
Okay. I also want to go back. When we were having the discussion earlier, I brought up the $7.1 million that was given in addition. That was not part of the initial budget request. It was a request that came in after the budget request and after the hearings. What was that money used for?
Deputy, or can I ask our budget director, Kim Mattis, to speak to it a little bit?
Yes, please.
To date, we have not spent that money. It has been safeguarded, it's being held, and that will be used for the modernization efforts of the shore system. So when that contract is executed, that's when use of that funding will start.
Okay. So basically, this is something that's being incorporated into the what's being negotiated right now with the new vendor. Correct. Am I correct? Okay.
Yes.
Didn't want to bring it up here, but voter ID, 80%, it doesn't matter what demographic group you divide people up. I think there's one that's at 78%, but they had to work hard to find it. 80% of the people want this. And my question to you, Mr. Secretary, given that this is an important piece of legislation that everybody wants, if we were to run something like that, would you support having that bill run clean so that it is something that just addresses something that 80% of the people want and not have it Christmas treed with a bunch of other items so that the people can get what they want?
Well, I know the governor has been very clear in terms of his willingness to work with anyone to improve accessibility, improve election integrity, again, provided it doesn't result in the disenfranchisement of voters. And like the details of something like that are very important, just like everything else that you do. And it would be important, should that be pursued, that it not repeat the mistakes made in 2012 or 2011, where there was something crafted that was fatally flawed, that did not take the administration and operational components of it into account. In terms of clean bill or not, that's really not something that I would have a position on one way or another.
All right. Well, it's my position that if the only bill that will come out of my committee on that is something that's going to have strictly a deal with voter ID. So codifying election night reporting, are you willing to work with us on a bill to codify election night reporting?
To, in terms of, is that essentially like the 1201 report that we talked about, to make sure it's an obligation?
And work towards finding processes that the counties can apply that will ensure that everything is done by the end of the day on election night.
I think in terms of codifying it, yes, we'd certainly be interested in having that conversation. There are, right now, it is required only if you accept Act 88 dollars. And not all counties have taken advantage of Act 88. So some counties are not under any obligation to provide a 1201 report to us at present.
Mr. Secretary, I appreciate your candor today, and also looking forward to working with you here in the coming months so that we can make this experience, the voting experience, even more pleasant for the people of the Commonwealth. Thank you.
Likewise, Chairman.